Hi, everyone. My name is Krishna, and welcome to our New York State Council of Health System Pharmacists Membership Engagement Series. Today, we are with Dr. Angela Cheng Lai, President of New York State Council of Health System Pharmacists.
Hi, Krishna. It is so good to see you again. Well, Krishna was actually my student from the University of Buffalo about 3 years ago, and it is so good to see you again. And we actually did our first podcast together,
Yes.
and that was just amazing. And thank you for coming back today to learn a little bit more about me.
It's so great to be back with you here today, Angela. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am a clinical pharmacy manager at Montefiore Medical Center, and I'm also an associate professor of medicine at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine.
That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about where you grew up and describe your childhood?
Wow, that brings back a lot of memories. So I was actually born in Hong Kong, and back then it was a British colony. So I was actually born a British citizen. And then I became an American citizen when I came here. I came to America with my family when I was 10 years old. Well, one of the memories that kind of stuck out to me about Hong Kong was that it was very crowded. So I still remember that when I was walking down the street on the weekend in the shopping area in the streets where I live, people were actually touching each other because it was that crowded. So you really had to like people to be in Hong Kong. So when I was here, I remember that wow, there's so much space, between people, and I had so much personal space that I was like, I felt like I was in heaven. So I definitely really loved America for that reason too. But then it was also very hard being an immigrant. We had a pretty hard life being an immigrant. So like many new immigrants, my parents took up more labor-intensive jobs when they first came here. So like for example, my father was actually a head chef on a ship when we were in Hong Kong. So he had a very good job and he had a very, I would say, pretty leisure life. And my mom was a housewife, so she also had a pretty leisure life. But when we got here, my father became a cook at a restaurant. So he had to work in front of a very hot stove for very long hours. And it was very hard on his body. But yet, he was happy because we were in America together. And he knew that by being in this country, that his children, that's us, me and my two sisters, would have a better future. So he was happy, even though he had to work very long hours and very hard labor-intensive work. And as for my mom, she was a housewife when she was in Hong Kong. And when we got here, she had to work at a sweatshop or a clothing factory. So that was also very long hours. I think every day she would work from maybe 9 in the morning to about 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And at that time, a lot of the children also helped out the parents in the sweatshop. So for me and my older sister, we also went to help her out at the clothing factory after our school. So I remember that school used to end at about 3 p.m. And so we would work at the clothing factory for maybe about 3 to 7 to help out. So it was a pretty hard life. And so they didn't call it sweatshop for nothing because in the summertime, you really literally sweat as you work because it was so hot. Yeah. And so, we just basically growing up, we went to school and then we worked. So that's pretty much all we did. I think at the time it was very hard for me because that meant I didn't get to watch cartoons like most of my classmates, or I didn't get to hang out with my friends. But you know, thinking back, I think that that was such a good experience because now I really appreciate the value of working hard.
That story is very inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
What were some hobbies and talents you had while growing up?
Yeah. So back when I was in Hong Kong, I always admired ballet dancers. I thought that they were so elegant and ballet was so beautiful. But it was difficult to take classes in Hong Kong because most people, like ordinary people, wouldn't be able to take classes because it was very expensive. But when I came to America, I saw that many of my classmates were taking ballet. So I thought, oh, you know what? I should take up that opportunity too to find a class to go to. So I still remember I had to start as a beginner. And at that time when I started, I was already 12 years old. So I remember the people in my class, they were like 5 and 6 years old. So I was like head and shoulders above everyone. And I must say that, that didn't happen too often. I mean, like especially now, like other people are head and shoulders above me. But still, I had so much joy in doing ballet, and I then eventually caught up with the students my age, and I was able to advance very fast. And I had a few very good years dancing ballet as a teenager.
You'll have to show me some of your moves sometime.
Sure, I will show you what I remember, which is not very much.
What advice can you share with us about family?
Yeah, I would say that family is probably one of the most precious thing that you can have in life. So growing up, we were always working. My parents were always working. So because they also didn't know a lot of English and they didn't know how to drive, we didn't go to any summer vacations at all. And also because they were always working, they actually didn't come to my graduation. So I remember graduating high school by myself, graduating college by myself. Can you imagine? Nobody came. And so it was until pharmacy school that my younger sister came, and I was so joyful. I was so happy that she could come. And then it wasn't until my PharmD graduation that my whole family came. So that was really great. And the only vacation that I remember taking was with me, with my older sister and my younger sister. So my older sister, who is 3 years older than me, had decided to take me and my younger sister to Disney World one year. Mm-hmm. And I remember that even though we didn't have a lot of money, but we were so happy, taking that vacation together. We were staying at a motel room, and then I remember that my older sister actually bought a rice cooker, because we didn't have a lot of money to buy dinner. So we would make ramen noodles every night to eat at the motel room. But it didn't matter because we were so happy being together. But of course, being able to go on to Space Mountain really helped too. We just had a blast. We had so much fun. So I would say that family is so precious. It doesn't even matter what you do or where you are, but what matters would be other people. People are always so precious. And even to this day, me and my sisters, we are busy in our own ways, but we really appreciate every opportunity that we can get together.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Thank you, Angela. And how did your childhood experience shape who you are as an adult today?
I would say that because I had such a challenging childhood, I really don't take anything for granted. I don't take for granted that I'm a pharmacist. That is really a great job because it provides me the opportunity to serve others and also to make a difference every day. I remember one time one of my patients told me that, wow, Angela, you are the best copay that I have ever made because I've learned so much from you in the past hour that she said she had learned so much about her medications that she felt like she can better take care of herself after she saw me. And I was just so happy to hear that. And so I really try to grab those opportunities every day to make a difference in someone's life. And I think that by helping others, it kind of brings a lot of joy to my life as well. And I certainly don't take you for granted. I mean, I'm so blessed to have you as my student a few years ago because I think that you also taught me a lot how to be a better teacher. And I don't take for granted that I'm the president of this organization because thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you giving me a chance to serve you. As a matter of fact, I really want to keep those goals that I have promised during my installation in mind. That I just recently released or share my installation video on YouTube, just so that I can remind myself what I'm supposed to do during this presidency. And most of all, I don't take our members for granted. Thank you so much for putting your trust in me. Thank you for serving this organization and actively participating and advocating for our profession so that we can advance together as a group and as a profession.
Thank you so much, Angela.
Thank you, Krishna, and thank you, everyone.